Depreciation functions. Now, Excel provides different functions that you can use to calculate depreciation. And I'm going to show you how to use each of these functions to calculate depreciation. This is Senior Huntington, your accounting tutor. Depreciation accounting. Now, depreciation accounting is the process of allocating the cost of a tangible asset over its useful life. Depreciation is a non-cash expense, don't forget, that reduces the asset's book value, the balance sheet, and it is recorded as an expense on the income statement. We have different methods that can be used to calculate depreciation. That is the straight line method, the declining balance methods, and the sum of years digits method, as well as the units of production method. So how do we calculate depreciation using the Excel functions? So Excel provides several built-in functions that you can use to calculate depreciation. And we are going to start with the straight line depreciation. Then I'll take you to the sum of years digits method or function. We are going to see how to use that. Then I'll show you how to use the declining balance and then the double declining balance method. So we start with the straight line method. But before that, we have been given the cost of the asset as 10,000. The salvage value is 1,000, and then the life is 10,000. The life is 10 years. So we are going to calculate the depreciation in the different functions, and then we also come up with the carrying value. Don't forget that carrying value of the asset is the cost of the asset minus its accumulated depreciation. I'm going to calculate depreciation for a period of 10 years, but initially, in period 0, the carrying value of the asset is going to be 10,000 because there is no any depreciation in year 0 or in period 0. So the cost of the asset will equal to the carrying value, and that will be 10,000. Then period 1, we can calculate our depreciation, and this will equal to the SLN. And they are telling you that this function returns the straight line depreciation of an asset for one period. You open brackets, you put your arguments, you have the cost, but you also press F4. Why F4? Because I have to repeat the same actions in the other cells. Then the salvage value, F4, and then the life, F4. So this gives us depreciation of 900. So the straight line depreciation is 900, and it's the same in each of the assets years. Carrying value, that is now the cost of the asset minus the depreciation, and this will give us carrying amount for each of the years. You see that after the 10th year, the salvage value of the asset is 1,000. Okay. Then the sum of years digits method. So here we use the SYD function to calculate the depreciation. SYD. And you see that it returns the sum of years digits depreciation of an asset for a specified period. So SYD, and now enter the cost, which is 10,000, F4. Then the salvage is 1,000. The life is 10 years. And then the period, period 1. This gives us 1,636. That is the sum of years depreciation in the first year. So you see the sum of years digits method, it's also one of the methods. It's one of the accelerated methods of computing depreciation. Those methods, of course, in the early years, they charge a higher depreciation charge. And later, you'll find that in the later years, the depreciation will lower. How would you get the carrying value? Carrying value, that will be the cost, which is 10 minus the sum of years digits depreciation, and that gives us that. You see that still at the end of the asset is useful life, the salvage value is 1,000. Then we move to the declining balance. Declining balance. When it comes to declining balance, we have different methods here which can be used to calculate depreciation. Under the declining balance methods, we have the fixed declining, we have the double declining, as well as the variable declining. So DB, that is fixed declining balance method. How do we compute this? You still use the DB function. We need so DB function, this returns the depreciation of an asset for a specified period using the fixed declining balance method, as I've told you. So you can enter the cost F4, then the salvage F4, then the life, that is 10 F4, the period, that's period 1. Now you see you have in the arguments, you also have month. You also have the month, but the month that is optional. Okay, that is optional. But of course, we know that when it comes to month, the year we are looking at the number of months in the first year, and of course, we know that these are 12. So if you omit the month, since it's optional, still it is assumed that the number of months are 12. Then you close. So we get 2060 as our declining balance depreciation in the first year. Then you can also navigate for the rest of the years. You see the depreciation keeps on reducing. Then the carrying value, that is now the cost minus the depreciation. We can get our carrying value for the other years. Then we have the double declining balance method. So here we use the DDB function. So DDB returns the depreciation of an asset for a specified period using the double declining balance method or some other method you may specify. So DDB, you can enter the cost, which is 10,000. Don't forget F4. Then the salvage, which is 1,000, and then the life, which is 10. Then the period, going to compute period 1. Then there is also the factor, that argument of factor. When it comes to the factor, that is optional, by the way. The factor is optional. That is the rate at which the balance declines. If you omit this, it's assumed to be 2 for double declining balance, but you can use other factors for different declining balance rates. But this is assumed to be 2, so I will not put the factor. It's assumed to be 2, so it's optional. But if you're using the double declining balance, then that will be assumed 2. 2 is the default factor. So this gives us 2,000. And now that's your depreciation. So depreciation reduces each year. Then the carrying value, so that is the carrying value while using the double declining balance method. Now these functions are invaluable, of course, for financial modeling, fixed asset management, and maybe tax planning. They will allow the business to calculate easily and track depreciation in their financial records. That's it all for today. If you have a question, you can share it in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share with your friends as long as you believe that this video will benefit them. Thank you for watching. I remain your tutor, Senior Huntington. Bye-bye.